Okay, I'm out here in the desert cooking on the back of my 2006 Toyota Corolla, which you see right here in front of me. Today I'm going to show you how to make homemade grilled cheese sandwiches that use goat cheese and homemade plum jam. Now I know that sounds really difficult, but it's not. It takes about 5 minutes, and I'll show you how simple it is, and it makes a great grilled cheese sandwich. What you're going to need is a small saucepan in which to make the jam, a frying pan to put the sandwiches in once you're ready to cook them. And then for the ingredients for these sandwiches, it's real simple. You need salt, pepper, 1 plum, 1 shallot, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. What you don't see is 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of water, and some sourdough bread. So first you have to start by taking the shallot, which is right there, and mincing that so you have 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to do that now. I'll mince the shallot to get 1 tablespoon. Okay, there's my minced shallot. I forgot to mention, before you mince the shallot, you have to peel it. Take off the outer layers, which are kind of like paper, and throw those away and get down to the main part of the vegetable. And then just slice off a couple rounds and then mince those until you have 1 tablespoon. Next, you have to take your plum and take the pit out of the plum and then coarsely chop it. So I'm going to do that now. So there is my coarsely chopped plum. Okay, next you want to add 2 tablespoons of water to your saucepan. So I'll do that now. Then add to the pan with the 2 tablespoons of water in it, add your 1 tablespoon of minced shallot and your coarsely chopped plum. Then you add your 2 tablespoons of sugar on top of that. Just added the sugar, then you season with a little bit of salt and pepper to your liking. So just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Okay, once you've added all those ingredients to the saucepan, you heat it on high until it starts to boil. It won't take very long since there's only 2 tablespoons of water in there. Once it's boiling, you stir it and then let it simmer. Turn the heat down and let it simmer for about 4 to 6 minutes, or until the plum pieces, get kind of softened. And that's how you make the plum jam. Okay, so that's boiling, so I'll just turn the heat way down and let it simmer for 4 to 6 minutes. It's always hard to judge on these propane stoves the appropriate level of the flame. It's not like you're cooking on your own stove at home, so we'll let that simmer for 4 to 6 minutes, and then we'll come back and make the sandwiches. So you cook the plum until about 6 to 10 minutes, something like that, until it gets thickened and the plum pieces get softened. So mine's already reached that stage. So then you transfer it to another bowl, a heat-proof bowl, and let it sit for at least 2 minutes. So you let your homemade plum jam sit for about 2 minutes in a heat-proof bowl. In the meantime, you can start making the sandwiches using the sourdough bread, 4 ounces of goat cheese, and some butter. So I'll start that now. So here's my 4-ounce container of crumbled goat cheese and some sourdough bread for 1 sandwich. It's 2 ounces of cheese per sandwich, so this container of goat cheese is 4 ounces. It would make 2 sandwiches, so I'm going to use about half of this. So you just pile that onto one of the slices of sourdough bread, and then on top of that you add half of the plum jam, since you've made enough for 2 sandwiches, and that's pretty much it. So I'll do that now and show you what it looks like when I'm finished. So just added the goat cheese to one of the slices. Now I'm going to add the plum jam on top of that. So there's the sandwich. Goat cheese on the bottom, plum jam on top. Add the top slice, and then put it in your frying pan where you've melted 1 tablespoon of butter, and then you fry it on both sides for a couple minutes until it gets nice and golden brown and crispy. And that's your sandwich. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done frying. Okay, so I've got it in the frying pan. Like I said, about 2 or 3 minutes per side. Keep your heat on medium high, medium low. The thing with grilled cheese is if you cook it too fast, the cheese doesn't have time to melt, but the bread gets done. So you want to have the heat kind of on a lower setting so you don't cook the bread too quickly. That allows the cheese a chance to melt. I forgot to mention, when you flip the sandwich, you might want to add another tablespoon of butter to the skillet. I did that because the butter kind of burns away and gets soaked up into the bread. So I just added another tablespoon to the skillet and then flipped it. And you're looking at the side that cooked first. That's a nice golden brown. You can see how the cheese there is kind of melting. So there's the final sandwich. Goat cheese grilled cheese sandwich with homemade plum jam. I think you'll really like this recipe.